Now let me bring in conservative attorney and contributing columnist for the Washington Post, George Conway. George, great to see you. Thanks for coming in and being with us in person. Steve Bannon and his team seem very confident. Perhaps it's all the shirts that Steve was wearing to the courthouse that they're going to get this verdict thrown out during the appeals process. What do you think?
Well, you know, he was very confident that he'd have this medieval attack on the prosecution's case and that he'd win the case. I don't think, I mean, as Ellie said, I don't think they have any real chance. I don't know what they're talking about in terms of willfulness. Any standard of willfulness, I think he met, and I think he's showing that, frankly, by his post-verdict conduct. He was smirking at the court, smiling at the court, and basically thumbing his nose at the jury's verdict and saying that basically the court was lawless. And all that stuff you heard about him saying, oh, the January 6th committee didn't have the courage to show up. I mean, it's just like, that's like saying, okay, I went 100 miles an hour on the New Jersey Turnpike and I got pulled over by a cop, and saying to the judge, or saying after I'm convicted of speeding and reckless driving, saying, you know, the highway commissioner had no courage and he failed to show up at my trial. I mean, It's just nonsense. I mean, It's silly. I mean, the question is, did he obey the subpoena? No. Did he have an excuse to obey the subpoena? No. End of story.
And that's why the judge was saying it's a cut and dry case.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's talk about the explosive hearing that we had the other night from the January 6th committee. Let's revisit this exchange. The former White House counsel, Pat Cipollone, responding to a question about whether anyone in the White House didn't want the Capitol riot to stop. Let's watch.
And who on the staff did not want people to leave the Capitol?
On the staff?
In the White House, how about?
I can't think of anybody, you know, on that day who didn't want people to get out of the Capitol once particularly once the violence started. No. I mean,
what about the president?
Yeah.
She said the staff. So I answered.
No, I said in the White House.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I thought you said who else on the staff. I can't reveal communications, but obviously I think, you know.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
a pretty telling moment.
Look, it was devastating in what he didn't say. I mean, he's clearly signaling that Trump was the one with the difference of opinion. I mean, this was a bit of a kabuki dance, the privileged lines that he drew. He said he couldn't speak to anything that he told the president or the president told him, but he could tell the January 6th committee what he said to everybody else, and that's just silly. I mean, if I'm the counsel to the president and you're the chief of staff and you ask me, the president needs your advice on X, and I give you, well, my legal advice is Y, and you pass that on to the president, my conversation with you would be privileged.
Right.
And the problem is here, there was no privilege. And what the January 6th committee did was they just allowed him to engage in this legal fiction and this fig leaf so that they could get what they could get out of him in the time that was allotted. And they did. And they got a lot out of him. I mean, the fact is, there's no reason to believe that that Pat Cipollone was not saying to the president what he was saying to everybody else, which is he's got to make a statement. He's got to go out there. We have to do something about this, and we have to stop this.
Yeah, it was a baffling moment. And let's talk about last night's Trump rally that he had in Arizona. He lied again about 2020. The big lie never dies when it comes to Donald Trump. He teased the 2024 run again, and he was talking about the Select Committee. Let's watch.
I ran twice, I won twice, and now we may have to do it again. He's a rhino coward who participated against the Republican Party in the totally partisan unselect committee of political thugs and hacks. They want to damage me in any form so I can no longer represent you. They will damage me in any form they can.
He's already rehearsing what he's going to say in the event he's indicted, it sounds to me, if he's prosecuted. And I mean, on top of the fact that it sounds like he's running.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the reason why he ran in 2020. I mean, there was some suggestion in, I think, the New York Times and some other places that that some people around him understood that one of the reasons why he ran for re-election was because he wanted to continue to have immunity from prosecution for the various things that he was being investigated for. I mean, he could have been charged with obstruction of justice as a result of the Mueller investigation. I think there could have been charges from the Ukrainian situation that resulted in the first impeachment. And certainly he's got exposure for state crimes they committed while he was a businessman and for tax fraud. And he's got exposure for what happened on January 6th and events leading up to that. And I think he thinks that by running for president, and there was a great Rolling Stone piece about this very recently, he can sort of politically immunize himself even before he's elected. And, this is the ultimate, abuse of the presidency and the presidential election process. This is all about him. This was all about him trying to stay in office so that he could be immune from prosecution. And this is all about him trying to get back there so he could be immune from prosecution. And this is all about him. This is going to be a campaign about him. It's not going to be, he's going to have advisors saying, well, you got to talk about inflation. You've got to talk about foreign policy.
That's just window dressing.
It's going to be just window dressing. This is a vengeance tour. The 2024 Trump vengeance tour, and he's going to wreak havoc. If he can't win, he's going to basically burn the house down. And that's frankly what Senator McConnell said on February 13th when he was talking about, after his vote against permanently barring Trump from office. McConnell basically said that Trump wanted to cause as much damage as he could on the way out. And McConnell said that, and that's what he's going to do in this upcoming election campaign.
And what's remarkable about this, and Axios has had a report on this in just the last couple of days, I've picked up on some of these rumblings as well, that Trump world is already planning what a new Trump administration might look like. Not only installing Trump loyalists by the thousands, but purging the government of all sorts of federal employees. And it says sources close to the former president said that he will, as a matter of top priority, go after the national security apparatus, clean house in the intelligence community and the State Department, target the woke generals at the Defense Department, that's in quotes, and remove the top layers of the Justice Department and the FBI. I mean, he's talking about bringing Jeffrey Clark in potentially as an attorney general if he's put back in office. What do you think about all of that?
He basically, he was great at ripping away guardrails for 4 years, and now he wants to destroy all of the guardrails, even if it means a cost of the civil service, and even if it means basically a cost of a functioning United States government. I mean, even people like even loyal Trump administration servants like Jeffrey Rosen, who became acting attorney general at the end, and Donahue, who became acting deputy attorney general, and Pat Cipollone. I think of the lawyers because I'm a lawyer.
Right.
Those people would be excluded from the next administration because they weren't radical enough. They wanted to obey the law. And here, what the Trump people are planning to do is they're planning to create lists of people who are more loyal than these people who are loyal to more loyal to Trump than they are to the Constitution, and pick people from that list. And not only that, expand the number of people they can appoint, expand the number of jobs they can appoint these people to. That's what, not just Schedule C, regular political appointees. They're creating they want to create a Schedule F and throw out thousands of civil servants so that they can put people who are ultra MAGA in and who are going to be it's going to be more corrupt and more lawless than we saw during the last 4 years.
Yeah, it sounds like an administration of Kool-Aid drinkers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we saw at the end of the last administration.
Call it the Jonestown program.
There you go. All right, George Conway, great to see you again. Thanks very much.